This program is brought to you by Statesboro Natural Gas.
Will Guy here, ready for another great edition of Statesboro Cooks. I'm here live in Tyson's Kitchen. Another great opportunity for me. We had the opportunity, me and my team, hashtag No Forks, to do a culinary competition on the campus of Georgia Southern University.
One of my friends is actually on the team that's putting the event on, and yeah, they were just like, hey, we're looking for some people who can cook. So I was like, yeah, it's
so
what I love.
Cook? Your name is Chef, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Are you making one of your specialty dishes?
The cranberry sauce is one of my originals, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not onions, garlic and jalapeno. What the fuck am I talking about? You doing onions over there. I'm sorry about that.
No, you good. So that's just onion and jalapenos? Garlic
yeah,
and
look,
jalapenos.
garlic and jalapenos.
What's in there? Garlic, jelly, brown sugar?
Garlic, jalapenos, cranberry sauce, making a little cranberry barbecue, a little spicy cranberry barbecue.
So this is the sauce. Okay.
We are Team No Forks. We're basically doing an all handheld thing, so we want you to get in there. It's a tailgate competition, so we want you to get in there and get nasty. We don't have time to be sexy at no tailgate, so get in there, get your hands dirty. Yeah, No Forks.
What kind of food do you guys have prepared today?
We're gonna be doing some sliders. It's gonna be pulled chicken with a spicy cranberry barbecue sauce. We marinated our chicken in basically just Coca-Cola. That was it. And then we're gonna be doing a grilled Granny Smith apple coleslaw. And then just some smoked corn. We roasted it in the husk on the grill. So the judges will be able to pull their husk off the corn. And we're gonna serve it with a sriracha lime butter.
Granny Smith apple coleslaw?
Yeah.
That sounds like sweetened coleslaw.
Yeah.
What is that the main difference between that and regular coleslaw?
Essentially, yeah, it just adds a sort of a grill flavor since we're tailgating, and a little bit of a sweet component to the dish. So I've tailgated with some friends. Normally we keep it simple with the burgers and hot dogs, but me, I like to do stuff different. So when I saw this competition, I was like, yeah, it's an opportunity for me to be able to, take food to the next level, which is what I love to do.
It tastes like good old.
Well, you just want them seared on both sides.
You want some pizza?
You just want it seared on both sides.
Yeah, seared on both sides and wrap it in foil. It might even be done because you don't want to cook them like
It's
grill
not done.
them.
This is still raw.
Well, you just want to sear them. Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah.
They're getting you ready for the baseball game.
All right. You want to do a little bit more?
Yeah, sure.
That's the point. They want more from the tailgate at the baseball game.
Oh yeah. But we only gonna get them a little bit in that little bowl.
Did you taste them yet?
I'm about to. Have you gotten there? And we gonna see if it needs some salt.
What's
in the grill? Okay.
Is that your cranberry?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
GATA, go JJ. That's right.
I know, right?
So judges, the first entry that you guys are going to taste today is team #NoForks. So if the team can now please bring your entries to the judges table for them to taste.
Huh? Yeah.
So first place with the win is going to be team #NoForks. Again, thank you for coming out today. Also, thank you for our apartment complexes for coming out and advertising. And we invite you guys to come watch the baseball game at 2:30.
And my team actually won. I guess I'll take 3 seconds and shout out to my team, Ogana, Brittany, Frank, and Taniqua. Thank you for all your help. So since we won, I have the opportunity to present some amazing cuisine today. Today we're gonna do a pork tenderloin sandwich with Cajun mustard. We're gonna do a brine on some onions with just Coca-Cola and cayenne pepper. Then we're gonna take it down to New Orleans and do a blackened shrimp and portobello mushroom salad over some mixed greens. And then for all the college students, we're gonna do something special for you. What I like to call bootleg beignets. It's just pancake mix. We're gonna fry it up golden brown, serve it with some ice cream and a homemade caramel sauce. Do it with a little jazz. I'm excited, so let's get cooking. We're gonna start off with our pork tenderloin sandwich. So before we do anything, just brought a little steel rod. I guess we're gonna get a little bit of culinary education here. We had a guy when I used to work at this restaurant around town. The local knife guy used to come in and show us how to sharpen knives. So I guess you guys are gonna get a little education here. What you wanna do is take whatever chef knife you use or whatever your favorite knife is in the kitchen, and you kinda wanna go forward, give it a couple strokes. And basically all you're doing is pulling off like any little shards of metal that might have, you know, got caught on the end of the blade. And then basically you're going to take it the opposite way and just wipe it backwards. And now you're just wiping off those microscopic pieces of metal. A little forward, a little backwards action. That's all you need. All right. So first thing, we're going to start off with our spice rub. Very simple spice rub. You can grab all these spices at Walmart, any local grocery store. We're going to start off with a little bit of kosher salt. You can mix all these up in a bowl. Probably about 3 or 4 teaspoons. Then we're going to have some fresh cracked pepper. You don't have to crack your own pepper. You can, you know, use whatever comes in a container. Or, you know, you can order these on Amazon. I got this for what, like $6, $7? You can find whole peppercorns right on the spice aisle. So a couple cracks, probably about 1.5 teaspoons or so. Then we have some garlic powder. Like I said, very simple. All these spices you can find anywhere. A little paprika. Now I got a lot of family from New Orleans, so you can't be scared. You can't be scared to go big with your flavors. We'll do a little chili powder, about 2 teaspoons of that, and then we also have one of my favorite herbs. Got a little dried thyme. Now here's the thing with dried spices and dried herbs. If you're gonna use dried herbs, you have to put this in at the beginning. Or else, if you put them in at the end, people are going to be chewing on it like, what's all that I'm eating on? So if you use fresh thyme, if you're going to use fresh herbs, that's cool. Just make sure you put them in at the end so they don't burn. About 1 teaspoon or so of dried thyme. And then equal parts of dried tarragon. The last two, we got the cousins here. We got cumin, coriander. We're just going to add these to the mix, probably about this much. When it comes to spices, I'm just not much of a, you know, 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon. That's not my style. You know, you just kind of do it until it tastes good, right? You know? All right. So we got our skillet here on about medium high heat. And we're just going to sear it off here after we get it rubbed down. So just go very liberally with it everywhere. So this is kind of how I like to make it happen. One hand is kind of the shaking hand and one hand gets dirty. But just make sure you get it real nice and coated. Flip it over on the other side. Make sure you rub it in really well. And once you got all your seasonings on there, you can get down and dirty. Some people, I mean, you know, this is their phobia. I feel like, you know, it's your best friend. Just get on in there, 2 hands. You might have to do like my man Guy Fieri does, do a little de-blinking, but you know, I didn't bring all that today, so, you know. All right. Got our pork rubbed down. We're going to go fat side down. So if you look at your pork tenderloin, it'll be a nice white layer of delicious fat. you're gonna do that side down just so you can release some of the natural juices out of this pork. So into your skillet, probably about 2 minutes on every side. Nothing too difficult. I'm gonna wash up, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna get started on our Cajun mustard and our onion brine. Welcome back to Statesboro Cooks. We got our tenderloin flipped over. We've seared it on both sides. So we're just going to add about 1/4 cup of water just so that the meat can begin to sort of braise in the oven. One of my favorite things in the world is flavor contrast. So if you got sweet and heat or spicy and salty or sour and citrus, whatever you do, just kind of having that little borderline between two different flavors. So today we're going to do the sweet and spicy. We got some Coca-Cola, cayenne pepper. That's it. Very simple. I'll take some onions, slice them down real thin. You kind of got your onion, you're just going to do it kind of like a moon. So you're going to start here. Very thin slices. Make sure you kind of use your knuckles here. You never have to worry about cutting yourself. When your thumb is back and when your knuckles are behind that blade, you'll never have to worry about cutting yourself. Again, you want to make sure you have a sharp knife. You'll probably cut yourself with a dull knife. It's happened to me before. I've cut out fingertips. I've lost a lot of skin, a lot of bleeding, a lot of doctor's visits for no reason. So just make sure you got a sharp knife. All right. So we got that rocking. Grab a bowl here. Coca-Cola, or you can use any dark soda. If you don't feel like spending money, of course, you can always get the off-brand. So, bottle of Coke, and go our onions. This is going to completely change the flavor of the onion, like totally. When you bite into it, you're going to like, where'd the onion go? You're going to get the spicy, you're going to get the sweet. Now, Coca-Cola already has a little bit of salt in it, so we're not going to need to add any salt to bring out the flavors here. So, about 3 or 4 teaspoons of cayenne pepper will be good. We're just going to kind of mix this around. Boom. It might kind of fizz on you, but it's not a problem. Set that to the side and let that magic just happen while we go ahead and move on to our next part of the dish. So our second dish today is going to be a shrimp and portobello mushroom salad. So everybody loves shrimp. Everybody loves bacon. We're going to get some aromatics going. We got some jalapeno, some onion, some sun-dried tomato. We're going to stuff them inside a portobello mushroom, coat it with some Parmesan and some breadcrumbs, roast it up, and serve it over some mixed greens. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with that onion that I had, the other half of that onion, and we're going to dice it really fine. So first thing I like to do is, remember, we still have the 2 ends. We're going to cut off one of them. And again, you just kind of peel that paper back. It comes off real smooth. No struggling. Whoop. Once you got yourself your onion peeled off, what you're going to do is just make long strips going from front to back. Watch your fingers. And then your onion already has layers in it. So once you cut the long ways, all you have to do is just sort of bring your knife from front to back, and then it'll make the dice for you. You don't have to worry about any extra chopping. Just go straight down. And boom. 10 seconds, you got yourself some diced onion. So how I like to do it, what we call in the restaurant business a little bit of mise en place. That means having everything in its place. So say, for example, I was going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Mise en place means to have everything in its place. So I'd have the bread, the peanut butter, the jelly, and all these different things, making sure I have everything together. So once I have my onion ready to go, we'll just have all our vegetables sort of laid out here on the board, and then we'll throw everything into the skillet at the same time, making sure all those flavors work together. So we got a jalapeno here. Just cut off your ends. I just kind of split them down the middle. And then we'll do what's called a little julienne cut. And then dice those real fine. That's if the jalapeno decides to cooperate. Sometimes you get one that's a little stingy, but you know, nonetheless, you just sort of make it happen. Besides, we cooking at home, we having fun, you know. What we're gonna add to the party is we got some sun-dried tomatoes, probably a nice little handful of these. And then we're also gonna add some bell pepper and bacon, God's gift to earth. I'm gonna add both of these. You don't have to cut them super small because, again, we're going to serve them inside of the mushroom. So we want people to be able to see them. We want people to bite into them and be like, oh, that's that sun-dried tomato. So, boom. Got these guys working. Now, while I'm doing all this, I already got my pan heating up. A little bit of vegetable oil. You can use canola oil. I'm not a big fan of olive oil when I'm sauteing. Olive oil has a habit of kind of smoking a lot. So it has a very low smoke temperature, meaning it can't withstand a lot of heat. It burns really fast. So vegetable oil, canola oil, any other oil like that works great. And we'll be utilizing more vegetable oil when we get ready to fry our bootleg beignets. All right, so we'll probably use about half of our bell pepper here. Cut them into little strips. And then again, just another dice. Nothing too fancy, just long as it tastes good. And then, of course, we'll get into everybody's favorite. Once we break open the bacon, this whole kitchen is gonna fill with a heavenly aroma. We still got our pork going in the oven. It's been about 10 minutes, so we got about another 10 to 15 minutes on that. So what we'll do is, since I don't want to have like overcooked vegetables, you want to be kind of soft, we'll keep our heat on about medium. So say if you got a stove 1 through 9, it'll probably be on about a 5. And we'll go ahead and get our vegetables going while we chop up our bacon. Last thing we want to do is be mixing raw meat with vegetables. So let's go ahead and we got our onions, jalapenos, bell pepper, and sun-dried tomatoes. We want to get all these in the party. Everybody in the pool. You too. And just let these guys just kind of cook down. They don't have to be, you know, frying up, just something real low and slow, just to sort of let all the flavors begin to mesh together while we get our bacon going. Because dicing bacon can be a bit of a process, so we'll let that cook down. All right, so we got our bacon. Just split it right down the middle. It's just fatty and delicious. You know, sometimes you got to reward yourself. I know it's summertime, people like to work out, but I mean, hey, after I run, I feel like I deserve it. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice up all this bacon, add it to the party here with all of our aromatics. We're gonna get our shrimp cleaned, tossed in as well, and then as soon as all this is done, we're gonna add it to our mushroom. While I finish dicing this bacon, you all take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Statesboro Cooks. We're still working on our shrimp and portobello mushroom salad. We have our bacon, our aromatics. We have onions, celery, bell pepper, sun-dried tomato. We got some fresh garlic. Everybody's in the pool. We're cooking everything down, and we're going to get ready to add our shrimp, stuff them inside our mushroom, and then we'll serve it on top of some mixed greens. So all you have to do is just kind of keep everything cooking. The bacon is about almost halfway done. So while this is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of celery. Celery is one of those crucial components when it comes down to aromatics. In French cuisine, they have this thing they like to call mirepoix. It's basically 2 parts, 2 to 1 onions to celery and carrots. Around the world, people have different variations of things. I know in New Orleans, they like to use bell peppers with celery and onion is what they call the Holy Trinity. In Spanish cuisine, they like to use, you know, their own variations. So everybody pretty much has different variations of the same stuff, but it all does the same thing. It brings out flavor in your food. So we got our bacon going here. It's starting to crunch up. That's what we want. I don't really want no chewy bacon. That's weird. So, you know. Once we have everything going, we're going to go ahead and grab our mushroom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this And take a spoon. All you have to do is just pop this stem right here. And we're gonna take a spoon and just hollow it out. And then we're gonna stuff all of this into our portobello mushroom. We're gonna season the underside with just a little bit of salt and pepper, very simple, and then pop these into the oven. So first things, you're gonna get a little oil. Make sure you watch your aromatics here. Fresh garlic will burn on you in like 2 blinks. So make sure you keep an eye on this. If you have to, while you're working, you can turn down your heat. Last thing you want to do is burn your garlic. I guarantee everybody will taste it. You will have the most ruined dish in the world if you burn garlic and you serve it. You can try to hide it with everything you could possibly imagine. It can't be hidden. Just a FYI. So we got our spoon. All you're going to do is just put it right inside the portobello mushroom, just sort of shave out the flesh. And this right here is going to act as the vessel for our shrimp and portobello salad. So just clean that right out. One down. Again, just break off your stem. You take a regular spoon, do a fork, probably do it with your hand. Might take a little time, you know, but nonetheless, just making sure you get all the flesh out. Now that's edible. Don't think that that's like not edible. It's delicious. You can roast this whole and it's probably the best thing ever. One of my favorite vegetables in the world is mushrooms. But for this purpose, we're gonna clean them out. So everything's just about done. Our bacon's starting to crisp up. So while this is rocking, we're gonna go ahead and turn our heat way down. Last thing we wanna do is overcook our shrimp. So I got some shrimp here that came fresh from the beach, St. Simon's Island. So we got some local caught shrimp. What we're gonna do is just go ahead and cut these in half, and then we're gonna place them in here, turn our heat down low, and then the heat of the pan, there's enough residual heat in this pan to just sort of cook our shrimp, and then we're gonna go ahead and season it at the end. So for about 8 or 9 shrimp, and all you have to do, just cut them in half. Because again, you want them to be able to fit inside the portobello mushroom. So in go our shrimp. As you can see, our bacon's starting to crisp up. So that's working. And we're just going to season this. A little bit of kosher salt. Some fresh cracked pepper. And that's it. We got friends who sometimes say, you know, less is more. So it's not anything that we really have to overdo. There's so much flavor in here. Salt and pepper keeps it super simple. We already got some fresh garlic. You already got bacon fat. There's pretty much nothing better than bacon fat. So let this toss around. And that's going to hold right there. Now we got our mushrooms, like I mentioned earlier. And what we're going to do, we're just going to put some oil down on these, season them on this side, because what you don't want to do is have somebody, man, this dish is so good, and then they bite into a bland mushroom. That's horrible, right? So just a little bit of oil, just to make sure that the seasonings stick. So just kind of rub it down, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our dish here. It's done. Take it off heat. That smells wonderful. Y'all have no idea. A little bit of salt. Go ahead and do the other one, huh? Kill 2 birds with a stone. Here we go. A little bit more kosher salt. Some more cracked pepper. Now that we have this, we're just going to take this and serve it right in here. It's about to go into the oven. 350, probably about 10 to 12 minutes, and your shrimp will actually finish cooking in the oven. Smells wonderful. All right, so we're gonna pop this into the oven just for a few minutes, and when we finish this up, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on our breadcrumbs. And what we're gonna do is go ahead and let this start cooking while we make our breadcrumb parmesan mixture. So grab myself a little baking pan. Again, just a little bit of oil here. Non-stick spray, whatever works. But why not? We're cooking at home. Let's get our hands dirty. So, same thing. Boom. 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Into the oven. Don't burn your face off. All right. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, and then we're gonna get into these breadcrumbs. Welcome back, everyone, to Statesboro Cooks. It's your man Will here. We're just about on our last leg of finishing everything. It's been about 20 minutes or so, so we're gonna go ahead and check that pork tenderloin, which should be just about finished. Now it's very important. Oh yeah, beautiful. It's extremely important that when you take out meat like this, whether it's on the grill, in the oven, whatever, that you let it rest. When you cut it too early, all those juices, they just run away and they just, disappear. And then everybody's eating dry pork and then everybody, it just destroys the sandwich. But on the flip side of that, you let it rest and let all those juices sort of come back together. Everyone gets real acquainted and then you have a great juicy piece of pork. So we're just going to let that hang out. I already got my breadcrumbs over here. Let's just mix up a little bit of what Rachel Ray likes to call the Parmigiano Reggiano. Mix that in with our breadcrumbs. And this right here is going to be the coating on top of those mushrooms that we did with the shrimp and all the aromatics and the bacon. What? Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? And they're only going to take a minute in the oven. All we're going to do is coat it right on top. Make sure you get everything nice and covered. We want to get a nice crunch on top of everything. If you want to, if you need to, you can even kind of pack it down. Got our cheese. Everything's going to melt. And when all these aromatics get in with this cheese and the breadcrumbs and that garlic, I'm telling you, it's going to be a party. All right. Back into the oven, probably for about 5 minutes. Really, all you need to do is just toast those breadcrumbs and let the cheese melt. So for our final component of the pork tenderloin sandwich, we're going to do one of my favorite sauces to make. I make it at home all the time, Cajun mustard. It's 2-to-1, hot sauce and mustard, and then a variety of spices. It's going to blow you away. Check me out. So we're going to start off very simple, some yellow mustard. And then you can grab your favorite hot sauce. We in the South, so Texas Pete, that's the way to go. Some people like Tabasco. I like heat. Tabasco kind of has a little bit more flavor. But, brand is not really important. Just as long as you get the heat, that's all that matters. And then to this, we're just going to add just some seasonings. We got some salt, some pepper. We're going to do some cayenne, some crushed red pepper flakes, a little bit of paprika, some cumin, basil. And then on the back end of that, we're going to add a little bit of tang with some Worcestershire sauce. Just a little bit of salt, not too much. Mustard already has salt in it, so you don't want to oversalt your food. You want to make sure you get all those other flavors. A little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Now, again, this is a Cajun mustard. So I got a lot of family in New Orleans, so you got to bring the heat. So we're going to go in with some cayenne pepper. Couple teaspoons. We're going to go in with some chili powder and some crushed red pepper flakes. Probably about a teaspoon of each. So you can kind of eyeball it. If you want to use a spoon, that's cool too. Then we have a little bit of earth tones here. Cumin adds like a really nice earthy sort of undertone to whatever dish you're making. So probably about teaspoon of cumin. That'll work. Again, we got a little bit of dried basil. Probably about half a teaspoon of that. We have some paprika. Now this right here is really just for color. Paprika is made from your bell pepper. It's just ground up red bell pepper. So it doesn't really pack a lot of heat, but it does give you some extra color in there. Just so that when people see it, it kind of like pops out at them. And then last but not least, This is actually one of my favorite condiments in the world. I use it grilling. I use it when I'm at home, breakfast, whatever. This goes in so many different things. You'd be surprised. But just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, however you say it, that's cool. I can't say it that great either, but just put some in there, you know? Probably going for about 5 or 6 teaspoons. It's going to add sort of a, how can I add it? Even though it's vinegar based, it still sort of adds like a different undertone. You're going to be like, what's that? It's Worcestershire. So, a little whisk. Here we go. Get everything in there. Again, remember we use dried herbs in here, so you want to make sure that we put this in and give those dried herbs time to really bring out those flavors. Dried herbs, again, they sort of take time to sort of release the natural flavors that's going to be in there. If we were using fresh herbs, you know, we sort of add it at the end. But once you get everything really mixed in, again, get down in there and get that mustard. Looks good to me. So we just got some casseroles. You can grab these from your local bakery. Really soft. When you toast them up with a little bit of butter, they're delicious. But we're not gonna add any butter to these because we got so much flavor that's gonna be coming out of our pork tenderloin. So right down the middle, and we'll drop all these guys face down and let them toast up in the oven. Probably about 2 or 3 minutes at 350. So college students, you'll love this one. You won't have to do a lot of shopping in the produce aisle. All right. So now we have our pork tenderloin. It's good and rested. Man, all these juices. Now look at that. Isn't that wonderful? That is as juicy as it gets. So we're going to slice them probably about 1/2 inch thick. Oh, that's beautiful. And that's what that searing off does. When we seared it off at the beginning, it gives it a really nice crust. So all these fresh herbs are going to have a great texture on top. Bring out a lot of great flavors. And you see when I slice it, it's not juice running everywhere. That's what's so important, to make sure you let your meat rest after it comes out of the oven or off the grill. You make sure it rests. All those juices lock back into the protein. That way, it's not juice running all over your cutting board. You're not losing all that flavor. Let's go ahead and slice our tomato. That's going to be the last thing that we're going to do for this sandwich. So we got our tomatoes ready to rock. We're going to check on our portobello mushrooms. All the cheese, the breadcrumbs, everything that we put inside, the shrimp, the bacon, the aromatics, the onions, the celery, the bell pepper, the jalapenos, the sun-dried tomatoes, everything's come together. And look at that. We got a really, really, really nice crust up on top. So we got some organic mixed greens here. You can find these at your local store. No more than about $3 for a box, and this will make plenty of salads. So I got some friends with me. They're gonna let me know. They're my friends. They'll be honest. If it sucks, they'll be like, hey, Will, you should have did better. You're on TV, all that kind of stuff. But we got some mixed greens. And it's very simple, you guys. Then we're just gonna take one of our portobello mushrooms. It's going to be extremely tender, so make sure you're very careful. Right on top. That's beautiful. If you're going to serve it all fancy, you have to make sure you keep everything inside the parameters of the plate. Last thing you want to do is bring food that's just all over the place. So just a little bit of lemon juice over the top just for some citrus flavor. On your greens a little bit. And there we go. All right, so Frank. Oh, ladies first. Oh, Ghana, she's so excited. And Brittany.
Thank you.
And my man Frank. All right, now y'all let me know something. If it's horrible, take the mic. Y'all can have the kitchen. Kick me out. But it's cool. Now, while they're tasting that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my buns out of the oven. We have our casseroles toasting, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to put together our grilled pork medallion sandwiches with the Cajun mustard. We also have our onions that are in the brine of Coca-Cola and cayenne pepper. They've been hanging out with us the entire time, so they're good and soaked in. All that sweet and spicy flavor we've been talking about.
That's real good.
they said it's real good. So we're gonna work on that pork medallion sandwiches while they're tasting that. Get in there, Frank. Let me know what you think. We just got our plates here. Go ahead and lay out our Kaiser rolls. They're nice and toasted. Again, you didn't really need like any butter or any oil or anything like that, just because there's so much fat that's gonna be coming from the pork. So, Cajun mustard down. We'll get it on both buns. Then we're gonna go down with our beautiful pork and just rest that right on top. Then we have some sliced tomatoes. Grab 3 of these guys. And last but not least, look at these. We have some sliced onions. We shaved them like paper thin and then just dump Coca-Cola and cayenne pepper on them, mix them up, and just let them sort of hang out. Probably the most awesome sandwich in the world. And it really didn't take that long. So we're gonna run these over to the team.
Thank you, dear.
One more for Superman. I'm going to keep cooking. We're going to clean up a little bit. And then college students, we have a great dessert just for you. Bootleg beignets. We're taking you down to New Orleans, but for half the price. A little bit of pancake mix. We're going to show you how to make a homemade caramel sauce. Serve it up with a little bit of ice cream. Then we're going to do a little citrus on top. So while I clean up and get everything together, you guys take a short break. They're going to keep eating. And we'll see you right back here on Statesboro Cooks. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Statesboro Cooks. We just finished up the pork medallion sandwiches and the shrimp and portobello mushroom. Now we got a little something for the college students. We're going to do what I like to call bootleg beignets, take you down to New Orleans. We're going to do it very simple with just some pancake mix. I'm going to show you guys how to make your own very quick caramel sauce. We're going to serve it up with everybody's favorite, some vanilla ice cream. So I already got some oil here. Again, you want to make sure you're using vegetable or canola oil. Olive oil burns really quick. So we already got that getting kind of warm. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and get started on a pancake mix. So I'm a big Bisquick fan. My grandmother used to use it. My mom uses it. It's good for pretty much everything from pancakes to waffles. You can make chicken pot pie. We're going to make beignets. So about 2 cups-ish. Make sure you follow your recipe. Little things like this, I've learned that cooking is more like a science, but baking is like a formula. So you can't really like just add whatever you want to add and expect it to come out the same way. So whatever it says on the box, make sure you go with that. So it calls for 2 eggs. So we got these guys. So 2 eggs. Make sure you crack it, Will. All right. 2 eggs. A little bit of vanilla extract. This is some of my favorite vanilla. I got a chance to go down to Mexico my freshman year of college. My parents took my family down for our first cruise, and we went. I can't tell you what city it was, but as soon as we come off the boat, there are all these, shops with fresh herbs and fresh spices and peppers and burritos, of course. And there's a little lady in there selling vanilla. So they had it for like $1 or $2. This huge bottle of vanilla. You'll never go through this much vanilla. So this is some authentic Mexican vanilla. We're just going to add a couple teaspoons to it. Not really measuring. But if you can't get to Mexico, you can always hit the spice rack. Vanilla extract will work, or you can flavor them however you want. You can use rum extract, you can use lemon extract, whatever you want to do, just to have a little bit of extra flavor, just so it just doesn't taste like pancake mix. Got a nice thick dough. Our oil's already hot. When we start frying these, we're going to go ahead and get working on our caramel. So while I'm stirring this, I'm going to go ahead and get this pan hot. I got a stick of butter here. I'm going to go ahead and melt this down. Take a little bit of my batter and just kind of shake it into the grease. Don't do it with water. I know so many people who get their hands wet and do it in there. That will pop back in your face. You'll be eyeless, earless, and all that kind of stuff. So a nice scoop. When you're pouring it, just kind of keep pouring it right on top of itself. So it forms sort of like a little ball. It's going to be kind of free form. It's not exactly going to make a perfect circle, but it'll fry up nonetheless. About a minute or so on each side. But you want to make sure the dough is thoroughly cooked. All right, so we pulled out some of our beignets. Now we have our butter melted down. So all we're going to do is add some brown sugar to this. To a stick of butter, maybe about a cup of brown sugar. Turn it down nice and low. And all you're really going to do is just keep this moving. And when that brown sugar starts to thicken, which it already is, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla to it. A little bit of cinnamon. And then just to kind of make it stand out, we're going to add a little bit of orange zest. So, and just zest a little bit of orange in. Now, when you're doing this, the skin of the orange, or what they call the peel, actually has more citrus flavor than the actual fruit itself. So this right here is going to bring like a lot of great flavor into our bootleg beignets. So just rub the skin off, a couple of teaspoons, kind of eyeball it. And now just kind of keep this moving. And let it continue to thicken. You really want that butter to kind of brown. That way it doesn't have like a greasy kind of taste when you drizzle it over everything. Really let that sugar begin to cook. So once you have it done, it's going to begin to sort of foam up. You just want to kind of let it set and then let everything sort of come together. It's going to be really hot, so just kind of let everything get together. So we're going to go ahead, grab our bowls. We got our beignets ready. We're going to grab some vanilla ice cream, hit it with our caramel, and then a little bit more orange zest on top just for a little bit of added color. Then we're going to give it to the team and let's see if we finish strong. All right, guys, welcome back to Statesboro Cooks. Putting together our last dish here. College students, we got our bootleg beignets, fried up our pancake mix. We did our homemade caramel. We got a little bit of vanilla ice cream, so we're going to put everything together, give it to the team. They're going to give us a grade. Hopefully we get an A+, right? So we're going to go 2 beignets down. There's absolutely nothing healthy about this dish. So for those of you who are saying, man, you know, I'm just really trying to get my summer body on, you know, eat the salad, don't eat this. That looks so good, it's not even funny. If y'all could smell the orange and all the flavors that are in this homemade caramel, and it was so quick, wasn't it? Now, college students, do you really need to go buy caramel from the grocery store? Not when you can make it this good, this fast, impress all your friends. Fellas, this could be a date night dessert. You never know. All right. So here we go. A little bit of added touch. You got to make your food look like $1 million. If it's not sexy, you can't serve it. You got to sell what looks good. You're going to get an extra scoop of ice cream, Frank, because you just... Good stuff.
Orange, really.
That's what makes the difference? Yeah. See, it's the orange. Fellas, that could be the difference in your date night, some orange zest. Who would have thought? You know? That's so good. Well, I have had an amazing time, you guys, here in Tyson's Kitchen. Thank you so much for letting us be a guest on Statesboro Cooks. I don't know. Shout out to hashtag no fork. Shout out to Taniqua Rush. She couldn't be here with us tonight. She back home. Taniqua, hey, we love you. We miss you. That's all. If you guys want to check out any of these recipes, I guess you can check me out on Facebook, Will Guy, or follow me on Twitter at @TheReal_Chef Will. That's DAREEL_Chef Will. And we'll be back again for another great episode of Statesboro Cooks. Y'all take it easy.
This program is brought to you by Statesboro Natural Gas.